let's move on to the next. We're gonna speed this up, man. We got Frank Martin and Tank Davis coming up. And the question, Zay, that we have is Frank Martin, where does he stack up on Tank Davis's strength of competition?
Well, I think personally, I think he's second in the second best fighter that Tank Davis will go up against in terms of skill, in terms of talent. I've seen Frank Martin. He only has 17 fights. When we watch his fights, you've seen he has that what they call a catch and shoot, where he's able to negate each punch and then swing over with a great counter punch that connects with the opponents he's been facing. I think Frank Martin has a lot of tactical skills. He's a counter puncher from what I'm seeing, but he also has combos when he's aggressive. And I think that's the fighter he has to try to be against Gervonta Davis, who we all know is a counter puncher. His whole career, he's a counter puncher. He's not looking to be aggressive. He's not gonna be aggressive. He's gonna sit there for 6 rounds and see what you're throwing at him. And then in the last 6 rounds of the fight, that's when he starts to go off. He starts to let loose, starts to throw his combinations, etc., etc. I think Frank Martin has an opportunity to really stifle Tank Davis if he could catch him in the right way in terms of his connectivity and his punching, his jab, his hooks, his combinations. If he doesn't decide to sit down, but I think Frank Martin is a great talent in my opinion. I think he stacks up amongst the best in the strength of competition. The only fighter I put above Frank Martin that Tank Davis fought was Leo Santa Cruz, who was a great tactical fighter, a guy who's aggressive. He took it to Gervonta Davis throughout the fight, and some even had Leo Santa Cruz winning that fight before that devastating knockout. So that's where I measure Frank Martin's strength of opponent.
Yeah, I was trying to pull up Tank's boxing record, but off the top of my head, I would probably agree with you. Probably since the Leo Santa Cruz fight, look, it's a solid step up in competition. He does a good job of maintaining his range. He has a good jab. He has some pop. So I think it will make for, a fight that's definitely miles ahead of the Rolly Romero fight. Definitely miles ahead of the Isaac Cruz fight. Definitely, a mile away from Ryan Garcia. Look, Ryan Garcia and Rolly lacks the defensive attention to detail to be in the ring with a guy like Tank. In some ways, when Tank fought Rolly, it felt like Tank was punting rounds, away before he landed that shot because he was setting something up that he knew Rolando was gonna bait Rolando into it. So he was just setting up the traps to land that shot. With Ryan Garcia, same thing, very calculated. He knew he was gonna land that money shot to the body. So they lacked the defensive fortitude to be in there with a guy like Tank. It's a step up in competition, but we have to also realize that eventually Tank is going to have to fight Shakur. Eventually, Tank is going to have to fight Loma. He's going to have to fight one of those guys. I understand. Look, Amazon Prime, they just launching, right? So they're trying to put decent cards together, right? You got Tim Tszyu, Keith Thurman, Rolly, Isaac Cruz on the undercard, and they trying to put something together. So of course you got to step up the competition because although Tank is a box office draw, arguably one of, if not the most box office attraction in the sport, you gotta make the money. You gotta break even. Now, Frank Martin is not gonna do the numbers that Ryan Garcia is that it already did, which was 1 million views. It's not gonna happen. A lot of people don't even know who this guy is, but it's a step up in competition, which should increase the overall quality of the fight. Now, I think Tank still is gonna win this fight easily, right? But it's a step up in competition. But eventually, you got to fight Loma. Okay, Loma and him was in the same weight class for half a decade. That has to happen. Okay, Shakur Stevenson, that has to happen. Okay, we can't continue to put this guy in a witness protection program and think that he's going to continue to just give us the bare minimum and we fans are going to support him. Can't happen. So I'll leave it at that.
Listen, man. Frank Martin, I think he got, I'm not sure, but 14 knockouts or 15 knockouts. So he got some knockout power. Young fighter, not a lot of experience. It's hard for me to rank him really high up on the competition level because of lack of experience. It's just hard for me to do that. Ring experience is a lot. And sometimes I think we underestimate Davis intellect, boxing intellect. Like you said, he set up punches round to round, meaning like even in this round, he might not go in for the killer shot, but he's setting you up 3 rounds later. No disrespect, like you said, I think you're gonna win. I think you're gonna win easy, and then we're gonna come back to this fight and say it wasn't much competition. And that's no disrespect to Frank. It's just I don't think Frank Martin. I don't think it's gonna be much competition. So it's hard for me to put him up there on a high ranking because his resume is not really polished.
All right, we're gonna move on real quickly here because time is of the essence. We still got more topics to go. Let's move on to the NBA here. This talks about a multi-year contract that LeBron James wants, $180 million to be exact. So the question is LeBron James still worth a multi-year, $180 million deal? And Cuzzo, the mic is yours to kick us off. Then say you could go ahead.
Oh man, this is I try to keep it quick, man, but this is brutal. It's such a complex question. He's worth it because he put fans in the seats and people behind the TV screen. He's one of those attractions. Like you said, he's the face of the NBA until he retire. So from that perspective, yes. But from a winning perspective, no. Absolutely. When you pay somebody that type of money, your expectations got to be a championship. And the Lakers' expectations shouldn't be a championship right now. And I don't care if you got Anthony Davis and LeBron James. If their expectations is not a championship, their expectations is second round. And I'm being fair. Okay. So yeah, from putting fans in the seats, yes, I get that. He's LeBron James. His name alone rings bells in any walks of life, anywhere. Okay, he's LeBron James. Clearly, he could deserve and demand that type of money. But from what he's doing, a production on the basketball court, no. As far as winning, no. And I'm not trying to come at LeBron James. I'm not coming at him. But that's just the facts, and that's just the reality. Okay, he's not LeBron James of yesteryear, where every year he got a shot to win a title. That's not the same LeBron James. So overall, no.
Zay?
Yeah, so I think the LeBron's still worth multi-year 100 million. I'll say yes. He is worth 180 million dollars. I'm not saying like him going to the Charlotte Hornets. That's what boom changes. But no, if you go to the right team with the right cap space and they're not able to, they don't have to eliminate as much to bring him in. Yeah, right team. Like for instance, if the Knicks go, yeah, we want LeBron James to replace Julius Randle. Maybe that's the right fit. Maybe that works exactly what they need to do for that team. Maybe if the Boston Celtics like, hey, we'll move Jaylen Brown for LeBron James, that might be the right move for them. It just might be. But if any team is looking to try to revamp their franchise as a losing team that didn't bring him in, no, not gonna look good at all. Not gonna make sense. But yeah, I think he's still worth it to some degree because even despite not being the same LeBron of yesteryear, he's still one of the more dominant players in the league. I'll still put him over guys like Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal to be on the uncertain organizations that are making $60 million plus a year. So
Yeah, at the end of the day, we could look at this question from a pure basketball standpoint. But I think when you talk about the Lakers, you have to look at it from a brand standpoint because the Lakers have the biggest brand in basketball, arguably. And when you combine the Laker brand with the LeBron James brand, then that makes for a good tandem. Okay, so it's not random that we are talking about this show or this topic right now in retrospect. So I think it makes sense from that perspective. They're going to give LeBron James his money. LeBron James is very calculated. LeBron James is a funny individual. This guy's hilarious, bro. He should be a comedian when his basketball days are over because he does so many strategic things like talking about retirement. This is my last dance and certain things he does to get what he wants. That's why he's LeBron James. That's why he ultimately does get what he wants because he's very strategic at what he says and what he does. He doesn't wear a hat that doesn't have a meaning to it. Okay, he doesn't wear an outfit that doesn't have a meaning to it. This guy is so PR is unreal. But I think the Lakers are willing to deal with that PR because they have been. Although I don't think the Lakers will win another championship with LeBron James, barring any other move that they make, and even then I don't consider them to be a favorite to win a championship. They're still going to be competitive. LeBron James is still an all-star, even at his diminished age. You're talking about 25 points per game, 7.9 assists per game, and 7.2 rebounds per game. The Golden State Warriors already showed you that they are interested in LeBron James still. Clearly, to them, he still has a lot left in the tank, okay, to try to compare him with Stephen Curry. If I'm the Knicks, I'll do this in a heartbeat. Once again, if I could trade Randall, who I think, Randall has shown his impact on the team in his absence due to injury recently, because we've been struggling, I would do that deal in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? Is that even a debate? Of course. LeBron James can come to New York. I think he should come to New York and finish what he could have done a couple years ago when he bypassed us. So, yeah, I don't know who would say no to LeBron James. Maybe 1-2 teams will say no because they already have superstars. I think LeBron James is worth a multi-year deal.
Yo, really quick, I want to piggyback off that. The only team that actually makes sense for him to go to is the Knicks. Because you can't go to Golden State and think he's going to, because LeBron James right now is only trying to improve his legacy. You can't go play with Steph Curry and think you're going to improve your legacy. Y'all can win a championship. Your legacy won't be improved. You understand that? They won champions over there. They got championship culture. Steph Curry got championship DNA. You're not going to improve your legacy. He goes to the Knicks and won a championship. A team that haven't won a championship in over 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He might be better than Jordan after that, bro.
No. Yo,
I don't think he's better than Jordan right now. But if he does that,
you said it right. The narrative will turn fast. That's the only place that can improve his legacy is the Knicks. I agree with that.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, or leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.